there's a lot of that in the movie. There's a lot of moments where, they're in danger and there's no music, but you hear the character breathing, just like a heavy panting, just.
Right.
It's kind of that, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about like when you're a kid and you play hide and go seek and you're like, you're scared that somebody's going to find you. Like, whoa, where is he? Somebody could, walk into the closet and say, you're it, whatever.
And there's a lot of those moments in this film.
Yeah, but it's that, when you're trying to hide and you're afraid that somebody's going to see you, it's like every sound becomes amplified. Like you can hear your heart beating, you can hear your breathing sounds 10 times louder than it normally does, and that is used in the movie to great effect to kind of build the tension. And I will say that is like the movie's strongest point is that it starts off very, very kind of slow.
The tension builds.
Yeah, the tension builds, and kind of the highlight of the movie. And I heard an interview with the director saying that a lot of people actually walked out of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because. There's definitely a scene in the movie that I would think would be very, very hard for some people to watch. Not so much me, but
some.
I would, there could be like some women or something in the audience that would probably have a hard time with it, and that's that's understandable.
Right.
But at the same time, I love the movie, and I'm so happy that it's going to be.
Okay, so basically the highlight of the movie is the fact that it builds tension really well. And
it feels like a throwback.
So from the earlier decades of horror.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Because there actually is a scene where they're discussing the movie Duel in the movie.
I remember that.
And it definitely is a bit Duel-esque. I mean, it's, basically a guy, two guys, through most of the movie, it's,
facing off against one another.
It's kind of just this cat and mouse game with this dude, being just kind of chased and picked on by this biker, and those parts are really, really good. But where the movie eventually goes and winds up, I think, is the highlight of the movie, and what the whole movie builds to.
Right.
But it definitely doesn't. It's not a movie that goes with the trend that you see in horror right now.
True.
Because right now, I would think. Kind of the trend in horror is, like blood and gut. A lot of zombies too. A lot of zombies nowadays, which I love. I love
don't
zombies.
Forget the vampire craze.
Well, the vampire craze, but also there's not a whole lot of the. It was something you saw a whole lot back in the day of, like we said before, of not showing the violence,
right.
Of having this implied violence, which in your mind. Makes it seem a lot worse than it actually is.
It adds to the tension. I mean, it's a tension builder.
Exactly. And also during that one scene that we can't talk about, but you really don't see a lot in that scene either.
Right.
You see like maybe one or two moments of what might be going on, but really you see the character's face through the whole movie, or not through the whole movie, through the whole scene. And at one point it kind of focuses in on his eye. And, so basically what's going on in the room is pretty much being built inside your mind.
Right.
So what you kind of imagine is going on, is a little bit worse than, what may in fact be going on, or what you could show. Because what you can imagine is always going to be a lot worse than, what you can really show.
And one other point about that is you're right about the mask part of.
Yeah.
I mean, you do see bikers every day. But you never really look at them as a menace, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, the fact that you can't see behind someone's mask, like especially just riding down the road, it could actually be a scary thing if you can't, if they are psychotic or whatever, and they just, that lifelessness of it.
Well, and it also kind of plays on the little mundane things that we do every day that we don't think can have a huge impact on our life.
The ripple effect, the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect. Because, we do, like every day, like, somebody cuts you off and you flick them off, or you honk your horn, or just little teeny things that, maybe something as small as, flicking a cigarette out the window and it hits somebody's,
splashing a puddle against someone, driving by.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
or cutting in front of somebody in line. Or this is something that gets on my nerves, just talking too loud in a line.
Oh, God.
Somebody talking on their cell phone when they're in line. They're
talking on your cell phone in public, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Movie theater, cell phone.
And this kind of plays on, you know, those little things that we do every day that we don't think can change our lives drastically. Maybe they can.
Right.
And I think that's another good thing about the movie. It's one of those movies that, number one, makes you think. It's one of those movies that you can definitely go see and definitely have a very good conversation where, you know, afterwards.
True.
You know, go see it and then go out to eat and discuss the movie and talk about, you know, what you liked about it and, you know, what it made you think. And there's tons of themes in the movie.
Right.
You could talk forever on the, you know, different themes in the movie, from, you know, betrayal to, you know, there's just tons of them. But at its heart, it definitely feels like a throwback to the 60s and like late 60s or 70s. It's very Hitchcockian, I would say, where it's very, very scary, but it tends to play with your head. It's all, you know, kind of up in your head rather than up in your face on the screen.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it, even more so than anything else that has been submitted, it makes it shine, you know, above everything else, because it's not blood and gore. It's not, you know, a crazy dude, even though there is a crazy dude with a knife, but it's not Friday the 13th, and it's not Jason.
Right. It's a real guy that could be your next door neighbor,
yeah,
or somebody you see in the line at the grocery store.
Yeah, it's the everyman. It's not a, you know, supernatural monster, or even though he's not like Hannibal Lecter, but I would say, you know, the thing that made Hannibal Lecter kind of scary is that he's not supernatural. This is, you know, he's a real dude that
has a real life.
You know, he's smart and he's just insane, and all he wants to do is kill people.
Right.
So,
and you know, one other point too to make about this movie is, even at the end, the guy, the main character, proved to be a coward, and the wife, to me, is the strong character.
Yeah, I would say that. It's definitely, even though there's a part in a movie that a lot of women wouldn't like, I think that the ending of the movie, it's very empowering towards women.
And she is a very strong character. She actually makes decisions, obviously, that he can't make, and that she's obviously the rock in the relationship, and that he
would be lost without
he would be lost without her, because he's basically a coward.
But at the same time, too, he also does kind of fight for himself at the end. But it really doesn't really.
It doesn't really do much.
It doesn't really do much. But he does, you know, does make a stand, and I wouldn't say he's not necessarily a coward, but because there is a time where he does, you know, kind of go up to who he thinks is the biker and kind of confronts them.
Yeah, but
I can definitely see what you're saying.
He has very coward-like attributes.
Yeah, he's not, you know, he's not like a Rambo figure. He's not he's not the type of dude that, you know, will take on, you know, a problem head on. He just be more the type
he will definitely run from his problems.
Yeah. And that's basically kind of what he does in the movie.
Run from his problems and let his wife deal with them.
And it kind of makes it worse, too. But definitely a great movie, worth seeing. A movie that I hope is able to get some kind of distribution, because I think even though it's definitely not a movie I could see having a theatrical release, but it definitely deserves to be seen by people that love horror movies.
Right. It is a movie that a horror fan would like, in my opinion. I think that, you know, if you had it direct video or Netflix or whatever, you know, however you can see it, I think it would be a movie that horror fans would like.
Yeah, there's no reason why somebody like Anchor Bay or
Lionsgate,
or IFC Midnight or something. There's no reason why one of those should, or even Magnet. Yeah. Can you see that? Can you see Magnet at the beginning of that movie? That Magnet logo come up. So there's no reason why it shouldn't get picked up. And I can't say what award it has won, but it is definitely a movie that will be given a HorrorQuest award. Of course, you can't say what award yet because that it hasn't. The festival hasn't happened yet. But I will say that it is definitely going to win a award. And if you live in the Atlanta area or are going to be in the Atlanta area, you should definitely come check it out because it's freaking awesome.